Chat, say hi to my cat, Momo. Momo, what do you have to say to the world of anybody who's stuck around since day one? Okay, good talk. Meanwhile, while this interview is going on with my cat, Kilgore getting it spot. Fighter, no BKB, but we do have the BKB pickup on the Shadow Fiend. Focus Fire is going to be coming in. They're looking to DPS him down really fast, but they have no idea that the Radiant side, they're smoking all around them. The smoke's going to break on the Shadow Fiend, on the rubick, but he's going to get spotted here. What is up, Dota nerds and non-Dota nerds of the like? We are here with day 8 of casting every day until I am actually good at it, until I cast at TI. We're going to just jump right into it here. We have hope everybody's having a fantastic Monday, start of the week. For a lot of people, for me, I didn't have work this morning, so it's a bit of an early Saturday. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my Saturday and Sunday at my job, so today I didn't have to go to that job, but I did have a lot of things to do, so I guess you could say it was like an early Saturday, but I still had things to do. Wow, tier 1 tower over here, we already in, taking a bit of damage from the Soul Assumption, maybe potentially tanking some tower hits to get another charge going, but isn't going to throw one out just yet. The Elder Titan with the movement speed temporarily now is reducing armor on the Grimstroke. We're getting base armor reduced by 40%. It's not going to be enough to get him down. It's a bit of a greedy move, but it's not going to get punished. Bottom lane still pushing up. We did see a pull from the Radiant side, but it could be risky against this dynamic duel here that has been constantly harassing. Inkswell on the creep. It's going to trigger it to stun the Elder Titan. Meanwhile, over here, Faceless Void exchanging some blows with the Visage, waiting to use Soul Assumption. He knows he's just going to leap it away, but it might be worth using it just to put it on cooldown for 18 seconds. The Dire Hero is getting super comfortable under this tier 1 tower. Some more regen and some damage being ferried out by both heroes, it looks like. Now we're seeing the creep wave make its way back to the Dire side with 2 flag bearer creeps. This is a lot of gold right here for the cores. For the core on the Dire side. It's also going to give some gold out. Excuse me. We see a good charge. Land on the Witch Doctor. Blood Grenade's going to connect. 5 stacks of poison attack. Getting a lot of stats picked up. I'd love to see the 2 Wraith Band pickups. I was expecting like maybe a Wraith Band, No Tailsman, Bracer, No Tailsman. I've seen a lot of different stats being picked up by the Viper, but I love seeing an aggressive double Wraith Band. High attack speed, high armor. This guy is planning on tanking and doing some damage. Bottom lane, see the Elder Titan making his way back behind the tower. Faceless Void, Grave Chill. Gonna bring him to a halt for a moment. Bring him slow down. Time Dilation connecting on both. Seeing a bit of slow Dota going on, but this might change here momentarily as we see Witch Doctor and Spiritbreaker heading towards the mid lane. Spiritbreaker charging onto the rubick. No mid laner to be seen, but the rubick does steal the charge. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, the Shadow Fiend is going to secure himself a kill on the Elder Titan. Maledict's going to go down on the Spiritbreaker. He's going to take down until he gets hit by the Fade Bolt. It's going to bring him down. Requiem used to fear the rubick. He's going to walk up the high ground, take 3 Shadow Raises. Is going to survive though. Potentially get a turnaround going on. His 2 supports showing up to the lane, but he's going to TP out instead. We do see the charge being used, so he TP's back to base, heals to full, fills his bottle, and he decides to charge to the top lane, potentially going for a gank. Charge is going to connect onto the Viper, who's going to get maledicted right away, so all this damage is going to tick down over him over a couple of seconds here. The last hit's going to be rewarded to the rubick. Top, we're seeing the same kind of deal. Maledict, he's itching to use it. With the Voodoo Festration, you only need a level 1 in order to stack. Oh, we're seeing the Spiritbreaker ability charge going to be used by the rubick, but the Spiritbreaker himself is going to use the real charge. He's going to connect on the rubick. Rubick is also going to stun Witch Doctor at the same time, so he's going to tick down to the poison attack over time. Now we do have the Focus Fire coming in from the Windrunner after killing the Viper, so he's going to get himself a double kill. So it's 1 for 2 on the off lane for the Radiant. Another strike is going to go down on the Windrunner, followed by the charge and the Greater Bash. All 3 abilities connecting from the 17%. At the same time, Nether Toxin stolen. All this damage along with the Viper Strike was just brutal. Took down the Windrunner before she was even able to move 5 spaces away. Shadow Fiend's going to make his way towards it, but the Elder Titan's going to TP and potentially steal it. The Blood Grenade's going to go out. Requiem's going to be channeled, but he's going to cancel it. Shadow Ray is going to be stolen. He's going to be blocked by the raindrop, but he's going to fully charge out the Requiem this time, and he's going to secure the kill on the Elder Titan with the help of Grimstroke with the Stroke of Fate, as well as the Inkswell. Smoke coming in from 2 Radiant Heroes. They're going to take the Twin Gate, potentially going for a Chronosphere play here. They think the 2 of them might be able to kill this Windrunner. They know she's farming back here, considering she backed after the Windrunner. Chat, say hi to my cat, Momo. Momo, what do you have to say to the world of anybody who's stuck around since day 1?
Yeah, they're pretty cool, I guess.
Okay, good talk. Meanwhile, while this interview is going on with my cat, Kilgore getting it spotted by the Radiant. Got 4 heroes converging on him. The Spearbreaker charge with the Inkswell on him. He's going to start to charge up. He's going to stand. He's going to hit the stun down. The stun on the Windrunner, but he's going to take down to the poison attack. While there's nothing going on here, Momo does tend to just sit like this while I'm gaming. Oh, hold on. Another strike. Gonna go down on the Witch Doctor. The charge to follow up. Inkswell is gonna blow up. The Requiem is gonna come out from the Rubick, who stole it earlier. He does have the Charge of Darkness now. Level 10 on the Rubick. Starting to fall behind here compared to the Radiant side heroes. Now Viper is leading the net worth chart with his Blade Mail. It's gonna allow him to farm these stacks at very high speeds here. Corrosive Skin, Nether Toxin, Blade Mail passive. I would have used the active here personally, but who am I to say? I'm not a high MMR gamer. We do have the Spiritbreaker Charge Darkness going on to the Elder Titan. It's going to connect here. No Nether Strike to follow just yet, but not needed. Shadow Race is going to bring down the Elder Titan. We do have a blink in from the Viper, who's going to blink and ult onto the Rubick, who's going to attempt to steal something, but he does not get anything. He gets himself a Shadow Race and goes down to the Bash. Windrunner coming in with a Shackle Shot onto the Shadow Fiend. He does get the Focus Fire on him, but the Requiem's going to push him away. Witch Doctor moving in on the objective of killing the Radiant heroes with the Visage behind him. Spearbreaker is going to charge onto the Windrunner with Inkswell with him. Is going to be enough to bring down the Windrunner. Witch Doctor ult's going to go in. He's going to help secure the kill on Riordan. But the Chronosphere is going to go down on 2, and he's just going to beat them down with the Shadow Fiend. Ranged attacks from the distance. A disastrous fight for the Dire. Let's see the fight recap here. An exchange of gold of 3,000 to the Radiant. So now they are in the lead by 2,000. A lot of XP being rewarded. We have the Stomp being dodged by Fighter on the Shadow Fiend. Going to bring in 2 Shadow Raises, far and medium, onto the Elder Titans. Going to take him down and say, hey, stop trying to smack my boy Faceless. I'm liking the early Blink Dagger pickup. Elder Titan's going to get scouted by the Radiant Ward on the high ground there. So Dire was leading in the vision before, but now that the snowball has started to roll back up the hill and down the hill of the Radiant,
Dire's middle tower is
Elder Titan, not learning his lesson the first time, walks straight over to the vision yet again. The Blink and the Viper Strike coming in from the Viper onto the Elder Titan. He's going to go down to the Inkswell after all that overtime has accumulated. Dire looking to smoke. Find themselves a bottled invisibility rune on the Rubick. Pinging the high ground here. They have suspicions of an enemy hero being up there, but their smoke isn't going to break. Spiritbreaker on the prowl is suspicious. The Dire Hero's smoke's going to break on the Faceless Void. He's going to get lifted into a sleep with the zap from the Rubick, and the final blow is going to be given to by the Windrunner power shot from the top lane. The Requiem is going to go out with the Shadow Raise, and the right click is going to bring down the Elder Titan, as well as the Visage, who's going to receive the other 2 Shadow Raises. The Maledict and the Death Ward coming in from the Witch Doctor, who's going to get silenced right away from Grimstroke. Does have the Phantom's Embrace to cancel the Doctor ult, but the Doctor is going to take down the Viper at the same time, bringing down his dominating kill streak. So not the worst fight for the Dire, believe it or not. They did lose on 3, but they didn't lose their mid or their safe lane. So the gold increase by both teams is pretty much the same, but much needed XP. As you can see, much needed XP rewarded to the 2 main cores. You need to catch up in this game, so you can see the net worth charts being led by the Shadow Fiend, who's most likely leading the last hits game and the hero level as well. Yeah, by a landslide. So we have ourselves our main character of the match, potentially going for a carry. Our heroes, not sure where to farm. Visage is going to try to go for the unsafe farm bottom. Not aware that the Shadow Fiend is farming right next to him, but he doesn't have a Yules or anything to get that instant Requiem, nor does he have Requiem up for another half a minute. Spear Breaker, Shadow Blade charge to clear the wave mid. It's gonna show. Radiant does have this ward scouted. Just got placed. Regen spawning top, the 20-minute mark, gonna be picked up and denied pretty much by the Faceless Void, who's just gonna go in and take out that ward. The Dire not doing too hot here when it comes to vision anymore. They were leading the front, but now scouted, and the Radiant side vision, as you can see, the Radiant vision here is going to scout the Windrunner, and then the Charge of Darkness instantly going out onto the Wind Ranger. He's going to go for the Nether Strike, but it's going to get canceled by the Gleipnir. The Shackle Shot as well to follow. The damage coming down from the Focus Fire. Faceless Void is going to go for the Chronosphere. It's going to land on 2, but whoa, the Requiem from off the camera is going to come in and sphere the 2. I was just about to mention that the Chronosphere landing on 2, but he does have the Voodoo Switcheroo to follow. Rubick stealing Chronosphere and landing on 2, but he does catch his own Visage. It's not going to be enough to get him out of the fight. He's just going to TP out. Chronosphere had good intentions, but does not end up solving any of the issues for the Dire. The Dire map is looking barren and empty. Their one ward that's still standing is in the bottom lane, which is also accompanied by a ward right here by the Radiant that's this close to dewarding theirs. Can you believe it? I feel like the Radiant just all of a sudden they flipped a switch and all of a sudden they're winning the warding game. So no Twitch names on here except for on the Spirit Breaker. I was gonna say we might see a stream sniping situation going, but I doubt it. If anything, it would be from the Dire side. Gleipnir pickup on the Visage. Gonna grab boots right after. Charge of Darkness with the Shadow Blade is going to go onto the Visage. They're going to retaliate with a Coconut and a Soul Assumption. Roshan being grabbed by the Radiant at the same time. Maledict and Death and the Voodoo Switcheroo is going to connect onto the Viper, who's going to go down. Death Ward coming out, but he's instantly going to get popped by Shadow Razes. Visage is going to go down to low HP from the Nether Strike. Soul Assumption is going to take out the Aegis on the Shadow Fiend. Venom's Embrace connecting, but getting denied. Focus Fires going out on the Shadow Fiend. Goes for the Requiem, but he's not able to get it out. Wind Ranger, all of his abilities being stopped by Time Dilation. He's just going to start right-clicking Riordan. He's also going to go down. A devastating team fight for the Dire, or for the Radiant. Excuse me. But also, at the same time, we did see a buyback come out from the Witch Doctor. Let's take a look at the fight recap here. So nothing really being rewarded to the Radiant. As you can see, they did catch themselves a kill on the Doctor, but him coming back. Spearbreaker, unaware that that's not the real Rubick, he's going to reveal himself with the Charge of Darkness and reveal that the Radiant do have vision here. We're seeing the Shackle Shot blocking the Requiem from coming out of the sleep, and the Elder Titan ult's also going to come through and stop the Requiem from going through. We have the Chronosphere onto the Windrunner, but he is during a Windrun, so he can't attack him. He has 100% miss rate, 100% evasion. The Rubick going to steal the Chronosphere and use it just on the Viper himself and the Nether Toxin. They're just going to DPS him down in the Chronosphere. This is a disaster for the Radiant side. Dust coming in and revealing the Spearbreaker before he's able to escape. No Nether Strike can connect as well. He's not going to be able to use it this fight. Another lost fight for the Radiant, and now we're finally seeing the gold make its way back to the Dire side, and the win rate back to 50. Matter of fact, it's 54% with a 1-level lead on the Dire. As we see, this is a major comeback in this game. Shadow Fiend still leading the last hits, but Windrunner right behind him with his Gleipnir pickup, as well as Visage with the Gleipnir pickup as well, allowing him to farm really fast. So I'm excited to see what plays are made next to secure the dub for the Dire, or potentially reclaim the lead that the Radiants once had. And I think one thing they're going to need is another big Chronosphere. These Chronospheres have not been it. They need to get the Rubick in it, I think, and they definitely need the Witch Doctor as well, if you ask me. But he keeps getting the Voodoo Switcheroo off just beforehand. Spearbreaker coming in, using invisibility with the Ink Swell. The damage is going to be enough to pop the Witch Doctor, get themselves a pick. In the meantime, might slow down the Dire's game just a little bit here, but we do have very high XP, or very high levels. We're going to see the level 18 coming through on the Wind Ranger as well as on the Visage very soon here. So they're going to be coming in with the new levels on their ults, but the only people that are going to be with level 3 ults here are going to be the Shadow Fiend, soon going to be the Faceless Void. And the rubick.
Sitting on Dire's top tower.
Come on. They're gonna see it spawn, right? Come on. 10 seconds. The smoke from the Radiant. They're gonna move towards bottom. We're seeing some things being drawn. Shadow Fiend wanting to fight. We have Teal as well. Grimstroke. No Roshan spawning. I believe they're all chatting now. Oh, he spawns just now. Ping's going through. They're like, we need to secure the Roshan. Radiant moving in bottom. He does have the Roshan banner now. Fighter, no BKB, but we do have the BKB pickup on the Shadow Fiend. Focus Fire is going to be coming in. They're looking to DPS him down really fast, but they have no idea that the Radiant side, they're smoking all around them. The smoke's going to break on the Shadow Fiend, on the Rubick, but he's going to get spotted here. He's going to BKB, and before he can blink in, he's going to charge up the Requiem, but it's not going to connect. That Roshan's going to go down. The Aghanims, or the Aegis pickup's going to be on the Windrunner. Looks like they're just going to do an expeditious retreat. They made it just out of time. If that smoke hadn't been, or that blink dagger may not have been canceled, that we would have seen a blink Requiem in on the Shadow Fiend. However, we do see the bashes coming through with the Chronosphere. It's not going to allow him to use the Wind Run, but he's going to get slept by the Elder Titan. The sleep's going to break, but the fear, he has the Aghanims, so he fears him from far away, blinks in for the Requiem to come in and do the damage on the Visage as well as the Windrunner. So two heroes going to go down for this fight. The swing of net worth swinging back into the favor of the Radiant. So they didn't give a damn about that Aegis. They just needed to regroup and fight under their vision. A much smarter play than fighting in the Roche pit, if you ask me. My cat's going crazy right now. I think he's got a bit of zoomies. Just keeps circling, looking for attention. He hears me raise my voice and he thinks he's going to get pets. Sorry, buddy. 2 hands on the keyboard and mouse at all times while operating the vehicle. We do have a smoke from the Dire. All 5 heroes smoking. The Dire is going to scan the triangle here. They do not have any vision of any Radiant heroes aside from Spiritbreaker, but it's always pretty much safe to assume that he's alone. So no point in moving towards him, but there is a point in moving against him. Radiant also using a scan here. Not going to scan anyone, though. The Windrunner seeming to run around the scan almost perfectly. He's going to be on this vision, but he is smoked. Going to break right on the Shadow Fiend, who does have BKB. They don't see him right away, but the Gleipnir is going to connect. He's going to BKB. Shackle Shot and the Coconut going to hit. 4 enemy heroes going to surround him, but the Chronosphere is going to secure them. Another kill on the Shadow Fiend, potentially. The Requiem does go out and doesn't come back in time to heal him. This Shadow Fiend is getting by this Chronosphere. Going to take down the tower. The Fortify is going to be brought. Okay, so the stun into the sleep. Faceless Void taking a nap. But the double Viper Strike's going to be going out with the double Phantom's Embrace because of the Grimstroke ult. It's going to, Faceless Void going to BKB and leap himself in. He's going to look for the Witch Doctor. He is on the high ground there, but he's not going to find him right away. Chronosphere is debating on being used for this fight, but the silence coming through on the Witch Doctor. Meanwhile, over here, if we see the Viper has killed the Windrunner, actually. The 2 Shadow Rays is going to connect on Elder Titan. While the Faceless Void is fighting the Witch Doctor, the Elder Titan is also going to go down. The Dire do get themselves a tower, but they lose 4 heroes at the same time, and the Rubick is forced to back during the fight. A couple of Radiant heroes smoked. They do know that he's there. The Viper Strike's going to connect on the Wind Ranger after the TP, or after the Blink, but he does have the Aghanims. He's also just going to break him and slow him and Viper Strike him, but he's going to get hit by the Elder Titan ult. The Elder Titan, now debuff immune, is going to start smacking up the Viper. Viper's going to go down to 1 HP, but the Chronosphere is going to keep him alive. Requiem being used by the Shadow Fiend in the backline. He is just going to he's going to refresh his Blink Dagger cooldown with the Refresher Orb, going to blink in and get the kill on Windrunner. It looks like this could be game here without any buybacks in the Windrunner or the Visage. Take a look at this graph, ladies and gentlemen. We have ourselves a Radiant swing. I think that this one was pretty obvious. Going to go to the Radiant. After this right here, we see this swing to the Radiant side. Yes, they lose it, and it only goes on to 50, though, because the Dire weren't able to get themselves another team fight. some great Dota by the Radiant and by the Rubick. I will say those Chronosphere steals were probably the only reason that they were still in this game. We did have the Shadow Fiend going down 2 or 3 different times just to Chronosphere alone. As you can see, this wasn't a top 100 game. This was a top immortal game, though. We did have ourselves some high-level Dota here. Not the best of the best, but that doesn't matter. We still value the gameplay by these players. These guys were all very good at the game. So let's take a look at some stats here. One thing I wanted to point out right away is just the sheer amount of farm that this Shadow Fiend was able to get. And if we can compare it to the Rubick, without even any specific farming items, we do have the damage and the movement speed. I think that this item is definitely being completely overlooked. Oh my god, if you look at the changes to this item, it has the cast speed bonus. Oh my god, does it have the cast speed bonus, bro? Oh my god. If you are not abusing this cast speed bonus, you are losing out. This item is crazy right now. 2 things that are strong this patch: mana and spells. This item gives you movement speed, spell amplification, spell lifesteal amplification, which isn't, cast speed bonus, and mana regen amp. I'm gonna go on a whim and say this could potentially be the strongest item of the patch, ladies and gentlemen. So if you see this in your lobbies, be afraid, because this Shadow Fiend blinks in, spell cast speed bonus, he's just instantly getting shadow raises off before your hero can even turn around. He's casted 3 of them and he's Requiem due. So I do think that this is due to a bit of a snowball. I'll move my head a little bit here. I got a big head. And now, yes, we did see a couple of pickoffs on him, but he was able to just maintain top net worth of the game for the entire game. I'm pretty sure, if we see the Shadow Fiend only gets passed up by the Faceless Void at the end of the match. And I think that because of that, there was just no way that the Radiant lose this game. The Dire were never able to really catch up to the mid lane on the Radiant side, and even though they were able to pick them off, though, they weren't able to catch a meaningful objective. The Spirit Breaker as well, I would give him honorable mention for MVP, because this guy was able to just continuously provide space for his team the entire game, always charging, always fighting, and then later he was starting to scale, get a lot of farm, and allowing him to keep the lanes pressured. The Dire could not leave their base without their top tower taking damage from creeps. So with that kind of pressure, there's always one hero TPing back, and if not, a lot of damage to the tower over time. So just overall well played by the Radiant. And if you guys enjoyed the casting of this game, I know a little bit lower energy today, but I really appreciate you guys for sticking through to the end of the video. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, all right? Peace out.